Have you ever wondered which country has the highest average iRating or the lowest, or where the country you live in comes in the standings? We're now going to find out. Now, I've taken all the sports car data, split it by country, and had a look at the average iRating. Now, some of these countries don't have any drivers or just 1 or 2 active accounts. So I'm not going to worry about any country which has fewer than 25 active iRacing accounts. That means we're going to be looking at 79 countries that make up by far the majority of iRacing. Now, before we go and jump into all the data and look at each country one by one, bear in mind the average worldwide iRating for sports car for active accounts is 1,634. Let's start with the lowest average iRating country in P79 and work our way up to the top 3. Now, as you're going through these, be aware that some may be lower than you expect, and that's often because this country concentrates on oval racing rather than sports car. As a bit of a bonus, as well as looking at the average iRating per country, we'll look at the top 3 iRating accounts there as well to see how big the big scores are for each one. Now remember, this is based on their sports car iRating, which is not necessarily just a reflection of the average driver skill per country, because of course there are differences in standards or internet connection and equipment used in less affluent countries. And some of these first countries may not have access to the same environments as other countries. Just so you know, there are 180,000 active sports car accounts on iRacing right now. 37,000 of those are rookie accounts. We've taken those out of the equation and we are looking at the remaining 143,000. iRatings range greatly from the very top, which at the time this data was pulled in Season 4 2024, is Sven Haas with 11,800, down to the bottom with 5 different drivers having a sports car iRating of absolutely 0. Now remember, we're also looking at countries that have at least 25 active non-rookie drivers. Even so, countries with lower numbers of drivers may be at the extremes, as countries with more participants are more likely to settle into an average rather than have spikes at the top or bottom end. In fact, if we'd let countries with at least 10 drivers take part, British Virgin Islands would have taken the win with an average iRating from their 10 drivers of over 2.7k. As we're going through these, of course, you can see the top 3 drivers per country. As we move on, you may see some people appear in the top 3 twice. If they have 2 active accounts that both happen to be in the top 3 for their country, aka Smurf accounts, then they'll appear there twice. So bear that in mind when you're looking at these stats. Some are clearly Smurf accounts, including one of the top 3 iRating accounts in Monaco. So keep an eye out for that when we get there. Also note that we're looking at iRacing's location. They might be representing other clubs. For example, if you are an Australian who recently moved to Canada, so you're in Canada but representing Australia, New Zealand, you'll show here as Canada. Some may have even registered on iRacing with a different location for other reasons. So we're at the halfway stage roughly now. And just a quick reminder once again of the global average of 1,634. All the countries that have already been will be lower than that, and all the countries yet to come will be higher than that. So let's carry on with the search and see which countries appear higher than the global average. Also bear in mind this is sports car iRating. There are lots of different disciplines on iRacing, including oval, so some of the big oval countries in the world probably fare pretty badly in the standings. You may also notice there aren't too many African countries on here. Most of the countries that did appear on the list had very few participants, down as low as 1, 2, maybe only 3 people per country. Now, a quick reminder, this is 79 countries, and it's not the top 79 in the world. This is all 79 countries in the world which had the minimum 25 drivers. So anything in the top 40 is in the top half of that list. As we move into this second half, we're seeing more and more of Europe. There's a lot of reasons why Europe may have higher iRatings, and a lot of that is down to the infrastructure. Perhaps better internet and equipment available than in other parts of the world. And there may be lower ping for a lot of the races, as Europeans tend to join each other online for races at the same time and may well be assigned a European server. Places like Australia and New Zealand, Japan may have more of a problem with ping and so not feature quite as highly as they perhaps could. Now, if your country has done better or worse than you expected, make sure you leave a comment to say what you think the reason for that is. Could it be driver skill for the people in your country, or is it other factors that are making a difference? Interesting to see countries like Norway and Sweden close to each other having a very similar average iRating. We also see things like Slovakia and Czechia very, very close together as well. Now, if you feel your country's iRating is a bit lower than you hoped, then maybe you can improve that just by getting your own iRatings up as well. You and people in the local area can help your country to perhaps skip a few positions up the grid. Now, a quick reminder that if you're liking this video, please do give it a like as well, so that YouTube understands that this is something that other iRacers and sim racers around the world might be interested in. Sports car racing on iRacing is very, very popular, of course. It covers a whole range of different cars, all the way up from the MX-5, Toyota GR, through the GT cars, and into the Le Mans prototype style cars as well, all the way up to the more modern Le Mans race cars. Okay, here we go with the podium positions. Just 3 countries to go. 2 of them are very small, and of course, perhaps are warped by some very good drivers in that country, and 1 fairly big country. So if your country's not been featured yet, it may well be in this top 3. Let's carry on and see what happens with the top 3 podium positions. And here we are with P3 is Andorra, the lovely country nestled between France and Spain and taking the best bits of both with a high average iRating. P2, we have Finland, one of the most successful motorsport nations in the world with multiple champions in things like rallying, Formula 1, Le Mans, etc. And here we are, P1 goes to Gibraltar, small country, but great strength of field. It wasn't just a few people dragging it up, the overall average here was really, really high. Well done, Gibraltar. Well, there we have it. Hopefully your country performed better than you thought it did, and congratulations to those top 3. And hopefully you've enjoyed this video. If so, let me know in the comments, give the video a like, and maybe if we all like it, we'll do an oval version Formula Car or even dirt racing. But until next time, have a great week or weekend, whatever it is you're going to do. I'm going to leave you with a couple of videos I think you're going to want to watch.